Alright, back again, Luke here, and today we've got out the old Atari Jaguar, and I figured we could put in this game here. Pitfall, the Mayan adventure. So, let's pop this in and play some of that. Now, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I put up a Jaguar video on Rayman, and that is actually one of the really nice-looking games here for the Jag. Although a lot of people will say that it's not, quite 64-bit, and it looks kind of cheesy, looks kind of like Super Nintendo graphics. It looks decent, for the system. Obviously, it's not super fantastic or really way out there, but it's definitely, a really good game for the Jag itself. And this is another one of those games that is definitely a really nice-looking game on the Jag. Now, once again, this isn't probably pushing the graphics or the, full possibility of the system, but I'll let you look at the intro here. It's got a kind of short intro. And there's our intro. Once again, not a very long intro, but it does get the point across. And you were able to see at the beginning there, it did say that there was a the Jag conversion here. I believe this thing was originally made for the PC, but still looks very, very nice on this platform. So if we go into the options menu here by pressing the B button, we can see that you can change the difficulty from normal to difficult. You can also change the controls, but honestly, I think the controls, the original way that they're set, is the best. B is for the jump, C is for your whip, and then A is for your secondary weapon. But we'll just leave this the way it is. We'll just jump into the game here. Has some beautiful graphics and some pretty good music in the background as well. In some cases, it's hard to tell that it's a Jag game compared to some of the other Jag games that are out there. This one actually does show off some really nice qualities of the system itself. But it has some really cool kind of background and foreground graphics here. If you notice in the background here, you can almost see that it looks like the original Atari kind of, graphics in the back here. And I believe that was done intentionally, very much like a couple of the stages in the game. Especially, I believe, Stage 5 is one of the main ones where they actually use a sprite from the original Atari Pitfall. So it's kind of cool. Has some really difficult parts to it as well, like knowing which place to jump, which places to that you can go through, which places you can't. It all takes some time, but really well designed game. Here are the little statues. These are like the little markers here. You can see the little pointing finger, which is kind of cool. But honestly speaking, I do believe this is a really beautiful game for the system. And the controls for it are very tight. The system does not strain at all. There's no lag on it. It really plays well. And I know it's not pushing the graphics of the system probably as far as they could be pushed, for sure, but definitely not bad by any means here. This is a game that I wound up buying. I wound up buying this one here brand new. It was still sealed when I bought it, but the point of having a game for me is to play it. So I did unwrap it here, and yeah, I mean, I'm giving it a shot now. These are some kind of cool effects here. Oh, missed that. I have to try this again here. You do have to release at a certain point here in order to be able to catch or to kind of fly there in the air. So you'll notice that in the upper right-hand corner, I'm just getting slashed, the crocodile is getting closer to our main character, which means that he's almost dead, so you gotta watch out. Ah. Very borderline danger here right now, so I need to get some stuff. Not playing the best. But really cool stuff with the graphics and the ideas. Here's our first kind of boss here. You'll see the percentage down at the bottom, and probably he's gonna wind up killing me. Yeah. Yeah. It's very hard to move once you get hit by by him here, especially with this much power that I had left. But normally you can do this without without having to worry too much. Just kind of playing sloppy here. What's nice is it does give you back all of the health here, so. See, there's some bags here down on the ground. Normally you can do this pretty well without getting hit too much, but sometimes the game does throw you a curveball here. There we go. So there's the end of the first stage. And we'll just leave it. Don't need to save it here. And I'll show you the next pattern. This one actually has some really good graphics, I think. Somehow reminds me a bit of, what is it? Kind of like a bit of Neo Geo Metal Slug action. I think for, different people it'll have different kind of images for everyone, but it kind of reminds me of that a bit. Reminds me a little bit of maybe some Demon Front. Just with the graphics. I mean, obviously they don't look to be, 64-bit, but they do look pretty decent, and really, the game is a fantastic-looking game. Let's see here. I'm trying to remember which way to go. I think I'm gonna... Let's see here. Let's try this. Wow, I didn't expect to fall there. Fell through the creases. There we go. But if you go through the game here kind of slow, without rushing it too much, you'll be able to go through it quite easily. As you can see here, I'm trying to go through it quite fast and very sloppily. But if you do take your time, you can go through this very, very easily. There is a limit to how many times you can continue. It basically is 2 continues at the beginning, but throughout the stages you can find other continues, so it's not limited to just 2 continues. Pretty cool effects there. Nice usage, I think, of the 2D and 3D parts here. And it is a really well-designed game. I think definitely Activision definitely tried their best to, make this a good game. You know, something that's very easily playable with without, you know, many flaws or anything like that. So it's one that if you do find, I recommend picking it up here. Ow, what am I doing? There we go. If you can find it for a reasonable price. I believe that I bought mine brand new for maybe about, no, $50 or something like that. Maybe it was 50 US, but not including the shipping or anything like that. But definitely worth it, worth the money for being, you know, the way it is. It was completely sealed, perfectly sealed game, never had been played, so. The mines here are pretty cool as well. They've got some tricky parts to them. But yeah, just wanted to share a little bit of a look here at what Pitfall, the Mayan Adventures, looks like here for the Jaguar, and it's a terrific game. It really is a wonderfully designed game, and if you're in the market and you can pick it up, I would recommend getting this game for sure, as it is well designed, and there really aren't any control flaws or anything like that with the game. But yeah, that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching. Ew. There's a little warp spot, which will warp us around to another spot here. And this is basically a game of Simon. So you just watch the different buttons and you press the button on the control pad. And you don't have to move the character, it automatically moves. So it'll keep going like this until you get hit. And there's our little free guy, I believe. But kind of cool little game. If you do die in that part, it just kind of squashes you and then it brings you back here again. So nothing to lose. Bit more time. This one will freeze the enemies for a little bit of time. In some cases it's good, but here it's kind of hard to get back up there. But this part's kind of interesting. I'm trying to think. There's the high road and the low road here. This is the part that can be, you know, somewhat confusing sometimes. It depends. Because you really, sometimes you can't see the background and the foreground, but that's where there's a lot of secrets, so. And this one here, you can do one of two things. You can either just like hit it repeatedly and it'll wind up breaking, or you can switch out your weapon, and by switching it out, it's by pressing the option. And I don't think I showed that yet, but here you can see there's boomerang. If we use this one, that will destroy it immediately. So.